Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story: how the front desk could be an amazing place if only GMs weren't such morons. The second story: my boss was lazy about COVID protocols and I record her conversation of blatant lies. Reported her to HR. The third story: Karen thinks my deformity makes me a pervert. Gets kicked out of the pool to be the HOA president's wife. The first story is thoughts after 6 years at the front desk. I landed A backwards into the front desk some 6 years ago, I believe. Initially, I got my master's degree in some super sexy, unpronounceable sciencey thing with 0 job application and opportunities. I thought, hey, why not open an escape room business? And why not double that with a small part-time somewhere while this takes off? So I started sending CVs left and right and center. Got lots of interviews, though mostly just out of curiosity. But monsieur, surely your academics doesn't match the service industry. Until one front desk manager thought, you know what, bet you won't last a month. Booyah, a challenge. Plus it included some night shifts, so I could work my business the day and the hotel at night. Spoiler alert, after 2 weeks of 3 hours or less sleep, I had the most surreal hallucination of hearing my non-existent child wailing in the manager's office. Yeah, respect your sleep, people. Anyway, great team, great job, like your little moment of light shining on you, I got this. Sold my shares in my escape room business, and this is now what I'm going to do. Cue Bilbo, I'm going on an adventure. That was nearly 6 years ago. Since then, having changed cities, I thought we might as well stay in the same brand. GL was this anger Karen like I've never seen before, literally setting traps for her front desk agents. I put a fake fax service fee for 20 euros. You didn't catch it. Ergo, you don't check the balances right. Lady, I used to use that line for printing pages. Once had someone print over 100 pages and exceed 20 bucks. So yeah, SH checked out. Anyway, didn't stay there long, unsurprisingly. Move on 2 hotels down the line. I'm now front desk assistant manager at a luxury hotel with gastronomic restaurant attached. Okay-ish team, beautiful restaurant and staff there. Poor management. But Kyle, we're an institution. Why should we invest in our rooms or service? Well, we lost our 4-star state-approved accreditation. Whoopsie. The AGM waited for the control check to realize we hadn't done a single update. Lost it over 3 mirrors. 3 effing mirrors. I was also the only one who did night shifts aside from the weekly night auditor. But Kyle, why should we hire or make someone else do them? What if when I'm on holiday? Silly Kyle, holidays? Pshaw! I got called at 7 a.m. on the 1st of January. Kyle, for the daily closing, it's asking me a yes or no question we don't normally have. What do we do? I wish I was joking about that one. Anyway, GM was the daughter of the owner, ran the business firmly in the ground and had to sell the whole property. Good riddance. In comes the new place. I got contacted out of the blue, hadn't sent my CV there. A little 100-room business 4-star hotel near a train station that opened 6 months ago. We haven't managed to open right. We're increasing our team size to bulk up and get better. Booyah, another challenge. I get there, I'm told by the elders it's like Game of Thrones here. People leave fast. Hang on, let's see if we can change that. Great team, great hotel, great AGM. Hang on, where'd the AGM go? Ah, he's left, but the new AGM is amazing too. So great team, okay hotel, great AGM. GM's a bit of an idiot though, but that's AGM's problem mostly. Then COVID strikes. We held the place together, just 4 of us. AGM, FDM, me, and one night auditor. The GM literally bailed on us. Not fun times. Come round summer, you'd think the clients would be comprehensive? Haha, nope. 2 years it lasted. Fortunately, we hired another night auditor and more front desk agents. By then, the GM had decided the problem was AGM and Kyle. Why Kyle? Because Kyle like pinning stuff on people and getting the bad elements fired. You work as a team or you die in a ditch alone, in my humble opinion. So AGM eventually leaves, leaving GM to happily focus all his on-bread attention to Kyle. No more night auditor. Again, seriously? More than 10 new night auditors in 2 years is not normal. Kyle will do them, all of them. A front desk agent wants to become front desk manager or assistant manager? Get dirt on Kyle even if it means lying. Fun times. I eventually left. Made extra sure everything was in order. Didn't want my team to have it bad when I left. Still got a call from the GM threatening to sue me over some imaginary effery where I'd managed to delete precisely his files at a distance 1 month after my departure. Reality was my final check was late, and he really didn't appreciate getting reminded of his legal obligations. A-Hat is still GM there, even though old colleague swears he'll be gone soon. Sure. Anyway, new hotel, now front desk manager. Back in the luxury resort business, regular restaurant, and a spa. Ooh, okay-ish colleagues, especially on the spa side. Okay-ish bosses, that's a nice change of pace. And a newly hired FDM. Hang on, what? FDM? But I'm the FDM. But Kyle, she used to be GM elsewhere. We couldn't offer her less. Okay, so I guess my stay here will be short. Ironically, the other FDM's tenure was even shorter. Let's try this again then. New hotel. Smaller countryside hotel, front desk manager. New job posting for the hotel. Team's okay, but needs some experienced person to set standards and practices. Quite a good restaurant. Mostly business clients, but great location that does also attract some tourists. Great managing. Like seriously great. Clearly lots I can learn from them. But the maitre d' hotel of the restaurant, man have I never seen a sniveling bee like that before. Kyle, your team dared take 10 reservations at 7:30 p.m. for the same time. That's unacceptable. Ah, I thought the limit was 15. Ah, on slow days it's less. Good to know. Every day something new is a problem. The guy really knew how to conjure a glass of water and drown everyone in it. Oh well, at least my team is good. Get called on the last day of my trial period. Me thinks, oh, we're going to talk of the planning schedule I proposed last week. Okay, Kyle, things are going great, but we need exceptional. Oh, for the love of, it's not you, it's me. Seriously, listen, if I screwed up, so be it, just tell me straight. No, can't pinpoint it, great, but you'll let me tell my team how nice of you. Won't tell a single person. Gotcha. Enter the maitre d' hotel the next day with his daily whining. It's not because you're not staying that you need to F up my reservation list. Hang on, how do you know about this? Ah, there's the smile. Great, at least now I know. So here's where it's at. I honestly think I might be done with this industry. Maybe it's time to cut the losses and move on to brighter days. I've got unemployment in my country. I've certainly earned it and never used it. Could use the time to look into something else. Or I could send one more CV. Front desk manager, 147 rooms. New branding, basically a reopening. GM and AGM say they'll leave the front desk in my hands. Super. Get here, one last hurrah. We got this, right? 1 week in, we lose our revenue manager and our accountant. Second week, we lose our spa manager and our tech director. We'll be losing our F&B manager next week. What the F is going on here? Oh, Kyle, it's a little like Game of Thrones here. Oh, hell no. Not this SH again. Turns out everyone aside from the GM, AGM, and quality manager, don't ask what she does. No one knows. Have changed several times over the last 2 years since GM arrived. Oh, and the front desk team? You included, that makes 4 people on the day team, with 2 on paid and unpaid vacation in August, so 12 days without a break. If you leave, you can kiss unemployment goodbye. Because if you're fired, that's one thing, but if you leave, it means you accept losing all source of revenue. My F, now I'm truly done with what I do believe is one of the best industries out there. The second story is, I think I got my boss fired, or at least on thin ice. Finally a victory after so many years of crappy injustice. I'm just so happy to finally stick it to a boss after months of recording. This boss was from my janitorial job for an elementary school. She trying to force me to haul company equipment in my personal vehicle, without giving me any type of pay raise or compensation for gas. This responsibility was not in the employee contract at all. She claims I was being ridiculous, but I would be driving 50 plus miles per day on a 16 mile per gallon van, so I would be working for less than minimum wage at that point. My boss continued to do shady things like this, as well as other things like reusing vacuum bags by cutting them open and stapling them shut again, cutting our hours and expecting us to clean 50% more due to the pandemic, refusing to allow someone to call out sick unless they have a fever of 101.4. After I was possibly exposed to COVID, my GM told me to come into work anyways and just wear a mask. We can't afford to be a man down while you're being tested. Having a meeting of COVID regulations, such as taking temperatures, before you enter a building for work, only to have absolutely no one to do it for the employees. Not even the school office staff or nursing office knew about this protocol when I went to get temp checked before my shift started the day after the meeting. The list goes on, unfortunately, but last month was the final straw. I go into work and I find that a classroom is untouched. No dirt, no trash, no signs of anyone being in this room in the last 24 hours. The school had been open that day and the rest of the classrooms were dirty, so I called my boss because of COVID protocol, and because I wasn't told anything of this. I wanted to make sure I was still supposed to check the room and not get possibly infected by COVID. Before I continue, our company has a policy. If there's a positive COVID case or even a possibility of COVID, then the room needs to be left alone for 1 to 2 days before it's deep cleaned by several staff. I call my boss and ask her what's going on with this abandoned room, and thankfully I record the conversation without her knowledge. She goes on saying she's taking this COVID stuff seriously, blah blah blah, and that there was a possible COVID case with a child. The child's grandmother had contracted the disease, and had previously spent the weekend with the grandchild right before she started to show symptoms. My GM then tells me to clean the room anyways because they still have school tomorrow. I remind her of the COVID policy she stated during the pandemic team meeting we had. I simply wanted communication because if I hadn't called her to ask, I would have never known about this. I even have told her on several occasions that I have multiple autoimmune diseases that put me at extremely high risk, so I could use a warning just in case I need to be extra careful for a specific room. She started getting aggressive saying, "Well, that's your job. You're at risk. That's just part of it. And they don't even tell me half the time what's going on, and it's illegal for me to tell you the little girl's name and personal information about her COVID test." This turns into an argument going back and forth with each other, her spouting off company policy, and when I simply voice my concern, she tries to shut me down completely. I was treated like the bad guy and that I was overreacting. I sent the voice recording to corporate HR, and they actually got back to me and opened an investigation. It's been 1 month since I have to send it to them, since I don't work there anymore. I'm thinking about texting my old shift manager to see what's going on. Update. Yeah, finally it's happened. She's been fired. And the last story is, Karen at the pool thinks my rib deformity makes me a pervert. My pool has a rule that you must be in good standing with the HOA to be at the pool. Another rule is that you must be 14 to be at the pool alone. I, 14 male, have always been short and had a baby face. I go to the pool alone for the first time ever and just generally have a good time. I have a deformity in my ribs that makes some of them stick out a bit. I've had it checked out and it doesn't affect anything nor create lasting health concerns. The cast. Me, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. EP. Karen. EK, Karen's hellspawn. PW, the HOA president. The story. I had just gotten out of the pool and EK comes up to me. EK, what's wrong with you? Me, what do you mean? EK, your ribs look funny. Me trying not to get mad at a curious 5-year-old. They just skill out a bit right there, but there's nothing wrong. EK, you should wear a shirt so people can't see it. Me, At this point, the gate to my pool opens and EP walks in. EP, what are you doing to my son? Me, what? I wasn't doing anything. In fact, he was being very rude to me and I suggest you leave, since you left him at the pool, and since he's not 14, I should report you to the pool monitor. EP, I can leave him wherever I want. It's not a rule. Even if it was, you should have to leave too since I don't see your parents here either. Me, I know I'm short, but I'm 14, ma'am. I'm going to leave now, so please leave me alone. EP, no, I'm calling the cops, because you were obviously trying to get EK to take his shorts off. Me, what? I didn't do anything to him. EK, yes he did, mommy, he did. I had seen someone sitting close to us before, but hadn't wanted to drag them into this, but I had lost my patience. Me, she's been sitting here the whole time, so she can tell you what happened. PW, yes, I saw the whole thing, and if anyone's calling the cops, it should be me. You're trespassing on this property because you've simultaneously broken 2 rules. You've left him alone and you're lucky I was kind enough to watch him. You're also not in good standing with the HOA. Leave now. EP, you have no right to say that. I know everyone in the HOA and you aren't one of them. PW, would you like me to call my husband who is in the HOA? EP, go ahead because he's definitely not in the HOA either. PW starts to click in the contact and EP must have recognized the name because she grabbed her kid and ran out of there faster than a cork out of a champagne bottle. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications. Have a good day.